20 minutes past the hour of 14 in the afternoon. Today is World Press Freedom Day, and of course, on phone I have with me is Mr. MacPherson Mukuka, who's actually television reporter, and also he's here to just talk to us regarding the World Press Freedom Day under the theme Journalism Under Digital Siege. Good afternoon. Welcome to this interview.
Good afternoon, Dominic. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Just a brief introduction of who you are for the sake of the listener.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is MacPherson Mukuka, a journalist by profession, working within Zambia at Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, ZNBC.
Absolutely. Amazing stuff. What do you make of this year's theme, Journalism Under Digital Siege?
Well, the theme is timely, Dominic, and you and I are aware of the current trends when it comes to technology and how information has been leaking regarding a private conversation between a journalist and a source. So the theme is timely and is something that we need to reflect on and see how can we help ourselves as journalists and also protect the sources, because imagine this conversation that we're having right now being a private conversation, and someone somewhere is tapping into our conversation, and before you even release the story to the public, there is already an audio that has been recorded between the two of us, and it is making rounds on social media because of some people thinking they can just get into each and every person's conversation and share the information before the owner of the information authorizes that it is shared. And in this particular case, being a journalist, it is something that we need to reflect upon and see how best we can protect ourselves and protect the sources as well, because indeed we are under surveillance.
Mm-hmm. Now, just looking at how everything else is unfolding, as far as this news is concerned, like you mentioned, people feel they can disseminate information just because they own a smartphone. Does this mean that because James, who's my neighbor, owns a smartphone, does that make him a journalist as well?
Unfortunately, Dominic, it doesn't. But again, unfortunately, it seems like citizen journalism has come to stay, and we just need to find a way of balancing up things. We will not manage to control how people behave. Neither can the law do so, because as it is, the social media aspect of it is what has brought quite a challenge on us as mainstream journalists, because as you are waiting for news to run at a particular time, it will be everywhere. It will be everywhere on social media. So it's quite something difficult, and we don't know how we are going to work around it. Perhaps we need media gurus ICT gurus to help us and see how we are going to work around this issue. So when it comes to citizen journalism, it's quite a difficult task to work around and see how we can stop people from sharing unverified information. Most of the time it is unverified information, and information that is not coming from professional people that are trained to deliver information in a particular manner. Because even information that is alarming, we find a way of working around it and see that we do not alarm the situation. But citizen journalists just want to share information. They are excited. People are excited with the smartphone. They want to capture images, even images that are sensitive. They want to capture videos that are not befitting to be in the public domain. But we as French journalists know what kind of images or videos we can share with the people. But as I said, due to the advent of social media, which is now almost on each and every smartphone, different platforms being shared by people, being installed on their phones, it is quite difficult to deal with it. But perhaps the law can be stiffened a bit to see how, especially the issue of the cyber security bill, to see how the cyber security law, to see how it can help the media, the mainstream media, to stay afloat and ensure that everything is okay when it comes to information dissemination. Otherwise, we are in for a very good fight, which we may not win per se, but we need to find a way of staying afloat as mainstream media practitioners.
Absolutely. When the president was being sworn in at Hero Stadium, he made it very clear that people will be free to express themselves. Now we're seeing in the media that a number of people are being arrested for defamation of the president. In as much as we want to make our opinions known or express ourselves freely, how realistic should we be, and also making sure that we are in line with the law?
Yeah, Dominic, freedom of expression is one thing, and allowing everyone to express themselves is another thing as well. But much as the people would want to express themselves, much as you and I are aggrieved of one thing or the other and want to express ourselves, there is always the right channel to do it. And that is where freedom comes in. When you use the right channel and the right words to communicate something, that's where freedom comes in. Freedom does not mean abusing that which has been given to you. Even the independence that we have as a nation, it would have been something else if we just thought, yes, we are independent, so let us go about making noise, breaking things and everything, because Zambia is independent, so we should go into other people's countries and make noise. That is not independence. Being free means that you respect other people's rights, you respect the same freedom that you've been given, because this freedom that people have, that they want to abuse every now and then, it can be taken away from them. And this is where you find now people complaining, no, we are being abused, we are being stumbled upon, because they are failing to understand what this freedom they have is all about, and what is the limitation in terms of you going out there and talking about anything that you feel like you want to talk about. There is no need of insulting or name calling, because that is not freedom. Freedom doesn't entail that you should go about insulting people, because the law will still catch up with you, and if it does, you will still be the same person that complains that your freedom is being stepped on, and you feel like there is no freedom at all. But the freedom is there. The fact that you and I are able to talk now, that means there is freedom. But what we talk about and what we say is what matters, and we define what freedom we have. But if you want to abuse the freedom just because you have the freedom and someone has guaranteed that you have the freedom, that will not make sense.
Absolutely. Now, access to information bill, are we going to see this bill becoming law anytime soon? Because there's been a lot of cry from different stakeholders saying that journalists should have access to documents by government and all of that. Going forward, are we going to see this come to light?
Well, Dominic, that is quite a difficult question to respond to, because all the authority lies in the people that are supposed to make sure that they take that particular bill to Parliament and possibly make amendments here and there and have it enacted. But we as players are here to just watch and see what happens, because promises have come. We've had a number of pronouncements that the bill will be taken to Parliament. Previous regimes and even the current regime has made those pronouncements. So we are just here to wait and see what happens in the near future, if at all it will be actualized, there will be an enactment or not. But suffice to mention that with or without the access to information bill, people need to be heard, and people have the right to have access to that information. But the law will only come in to provide a clear platform on how you are going to have that access. You are going to have access to that particular information, and how we are going to use it also will matter, because it's not just having access to the information. What do you intend to do with that information when you have it? Because if you don't only want to have access to information and then abuse it, then there will be no need of having such a law in the first place. So we wait and see how government works around that issue, and we will be grateful if at all the law will be passed.
Absolutely. As we wind up, I'm pretty much aware that you're one of the mentors for Uplift Media. Just take us through what really you are doing to make sure that the journalists coming up are people that will not be able to, abuse the power of the pen and the information that they have at the tip of their hands to either, mislead the general public. On the other hand, make sure that they are given, the right information as far as the general public is concerned. Your take on the issue of Uplift Media and what you're doing to bring up credible journalists.
Sure. Thank you very much for that question, Dominic. At Uplift Media, our core mandate is, if you have put it, is to mentor journalists, upcoming journalists for that matter. So we are working with different institutions, especially institutions of higher learning, those that provide media trainings. To ensure that the people that are being trained are getting into the industry with good information about journalism and how the field of journalism is supposed to be undertaken. So we are making sure that we mentor journalists when it comes, upcoming journalists, when it comes to how to write authentic stories and how to distinguish misinformation from correct information, and also how to deal with misinformation in case they came across such. So we are working also to ensure that the journalists understand the hands-on kind of information, kind of working, if at all they were to get into the field of journalism, because we believe it may not be everyone that will get into the field of journalism, others will become public relations. But also we are offering lessons also to PR practitioners, potential PR practitioners, so that we balance up the sides of the coin. While there is journalism here and there is also public relations, because it all gets back to the same issue of information dissemination. So we are making sure at Uplift Media that the young journalists, the upcoming journalists, especially those that are in school right now, have the understanding of how the field of journalism is operating and the challenges that they are likely to face, and how to handle such challenges if they were to face them.
Mm-hmm. Amazing stuff. Your last remarks to would-be journalists and those that you feel, well, they might be doing things out of, ethics of journalism, and just because you own a smartphone, you can do anything that you want and just capture anything without proper, consultation, as well as, professionalism. Just your last remarks as we wind up.
Well, if borrowing from former President Edgar Lungu's words when he addressed the media last time, he did indicate that journalism is for trained professionals. But if we leave it to untrained people, the challenge will be on us to deal with. And this is these are things that are happening now. We are seeing how challenging things are becoming in the media, where everyone wants to be a journalist. But for those that are not a non-journalist, my plea is that desist from issuing information or disseminating information that you are not sure of, because information, simple as it may sound, it has the power to incite people to do things that are regrettable. So the best is allow us, the professional journalists, do the work. Yours is to listen. Of course, we know you are excited. We know you have the smartphone. We know you have access to internet bundles. But leave journalism to journalists and be a citizen and wait for information to be delivered to you. Where you feel it is delayed, there is a way you can complain to a particular media house where you think information is not being given as it should, and perhaps you have the better knowledge of how you'd want it to come out. But remember, there are people that are trained to do that. So for you, just wait for information to come. And to my fellow journalists, let us be professional as possible, because ours is a noble cause. It's a vocation that, if not handled properly, can cause a tension in the nation. So the best is to be as professional as possible, so that we serve the people of Zambia with dignity, so that we are never put under surveillance as the situation is.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. MacPherson Okuka. Happy World Press Freedom Day once again to you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Dominic. Thank you.
Amazing stuff. That was MacPherson.